Hello all and welcome to EastEnders Weekly. We're back again. And this week we are talking about quite a few things. Namely, someone's 2000th episode.
Yes.
A special girl.
Old Letita herself. Old Tish has had 2,000 episodes of EastEnders now.
I would think it would be more, but...
Well, when you came in and told me, you said, "Oh, guess who it is? Guess who it is?" And I said, "Oh," the first thing I said was, "Oh, it's not Sharon." And you went, "Oh, yeah, it's Sharon." I was like, "Oh, I expected there to be more, to be honest with you."
She had lots of breaks, hasn't she? I guess so.
She has, but
she only appears for the main meal.
But when she's on the soap, she's normally on it for. She's on every episode. She's quite consecutive episodes. It's not like she's here and there, like Ted, for instance, or Habiba and Ikra. Like then to just come and seem to dip in and dip back out again.
Yeah, Adam Woodjack did 2000 like ages ago. So
yeah, but he never leaves.
That's true.
He's there all the time. When he's even on a break, he's still there. And like somehow they record the episodes in advance, a bit like they did with Dirty Den before his big first departure.
We had like a nice video online. Celebrating Letitia Dean, which is nice. We keep getting these little videos of behind the scenes bits, which I like. So they're good.
Yeah, we've been enjoying them. And it was John Sen and Kate Oates who gave her congratulations bouquet. I mean, you think there'd be maybe a plaque or something a bit more special than...
One who plays Whitney, she had that recently, like 2000 episodes, I think. Or must be, yeah. And she got like balloons and a cake.
Did she? Yeah, the budget's gone down, hasn't it? Since they've got these new expensive locations and producers and new writers in, all they can afford is some flowers down at the market stall.
From Trace.
Yeah, from Tracy. From Trace.
Wonder how many episodes Tracy's done.
Well, this is what I mean. Tracy must be in the...
10,000.
Yeah, in the 5 figures, surely. She's always there popping in the background.
We also had Soap Awards long list.
Yes.
Some surprises there.
That's been dropped in now, so we now know who is being nominated. I mean, let's be honest, not really too many surprises with the male
people missing
category. There's been a lot of people missing. So in the male category, and we are only going to mention the EastEnders ones, but obviously we appreciate there's other soaps out there.
It's all about EastEnders.
But which it is. But the male nominations are Danny Walters.
Keanu.
Yes. Just in case you didn't know. Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. Yes.
No, sorry. Keegan Baker.
No. Retrospectively. And Danny Dyer.
Mick Carter.
I mean, like I say, Danny Dyer is pretty much... He might as well just set up shop on the British Soap Awards Best Male because he's always
voted
there.
By the public. Sorry, Danny Dyer.
I don't think the long list is it?
Oh, I don't know, but he shouldn't win.
No, I mean, he's fine.
Especially this year, of all years, he shouldn't win. He's not really done anything.
Well, he did those gripping scenes in jail, didn't he? With Stuart. This is where we're looking at. So
Ricky Champ's not on
Ricky Champ is not being nominated, which is not good. Let's be honest. That's not really
his chance.
But it's not that. It's that he has had and portrayed, and he's kept the soap going. Let's be honest. The whole storyline with Mick and Stuart was pretty much the talking point of 2018.
Yes,
and it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and Kat's appearance.
Yeah, and Hayley, she's not on it either.
Hayley's not on it. So we're going to the best actresses as well. So again, from EastEnders, Lorraine Stanley, obviously Karen. We love Karen, so that makes good sense. Louisa Layton,
Ruby,
yes.
Alan.
Again, she had quite a big story in 2018.
Yeah. And
Tamsin Athwaite.
Yeah, I don't know why she's nominated. I do like Tamsin Athwaite. She's great, but like I don't know.
No,
what did she do last year? I know she did
stories. The big race story.
There was no like huge acting moments, was there?
I mean, what she did was fun. It was a bit.
Yeah, what Dot Cotton did was fun.
Yeah, but the Ray and Mel story for me was like the really campy side of like the over the top side of EastEnders last year, and I really, when we spoke to Ray, look out for the interview, it's on there. When we spoke to him, we said it was like an over the top 80s horror film, and he said yes, it was. We kind of wanted to portray it.
I think Bonnie Langford should have been nominated.
Bonnie Langford has been sorely forgotten, let's be honest, in a lot of instances.
Especially because Zach Morris is nominated. It's for the same storyline. So why isn't Bonnie Langford?
I just don't know.
Very upset. Hayley's been forgotten.
Well, they're the only ones we can nominate. We can vote for.
I voted.
Have you? I've also voted. Who did you vote for?
Surprise, actually. This will make sure everyone's sitting down. I voted for Ruby.
Oh, did you?
I know.
Oh, I voted for Lorraine Stanley, Karen, and Zach Morris.
Do you have any dramatic scenes, Karen, though? I like to vote for the dramatic acting.
Yeah, but I like Karen. I love the character Karen, and she's had some good stories. I don't know where they do the nominations from. Is it January to December 2019?
There is a cut-off point. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But what about male? Who did you vote for?
Zach Morris.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
I don't know why though. Once I did it, I don't think any of them were deserving.
No, if really, I would want to vote for Ricky Champ. I'm hoping that he maybe gets Best Newcomer. Is it still in that boundary? I'm not
and
sure.
Maisie Smith's not been nominated.
Yeah, that's a
Well, she might be in young category still.
Oh, they
she
do
was
young,
last
don't
year.
they? They still do the young category. Do they still do? They don't do sexiest male or female anymore, do they?
Sadly,
it's not PC enough anymore, which is a shame.
We'll do it.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, but on the night we'll do our own award ceremony. Just completely contradict everything that's said on the ITV ceremony.
So, any other news? One more bit of sad news. Sandy Ratcliff passed away this week, who played Sue Osman, the original character from 1985. So that was sad news.
It was sad news, and we won't talk too much about it right now, but we have got the feature this week as a tribute to her, so that'll be later on the show too.
Yes, we're looking forward to chatting about her. Old Nutty Sue.
Yeah. that's not a nice summing up of her.
Well, just you wait. So we are going to be discussing the episodes from the 8th to the 12th of April. So all the episodes and things that happened this week on EastEnders.
Yeah, I am Alex, by the way.
Are you?
I am. I haven't changed.
No.
I'm still
Ben.
the same. You're Ben.
Not Ben Mitchell.
No.
I'm the same Ben. Haven't changed.
No, yeah, you haven't been recast.
Looking forward to talking about the Ben Mitchell storyline, actually. That's not till later.
Yeah, there's
sadly.
been a lot of chat on Twitter. I think people are getting a bit worried about where the direction it's heading.
So we're going to start off with the Mel and Jack storyline, because Mel has been in it all week. She's desperate for money. She needs the money. She needs the money.
There's one every episode, folks. Just look out for it.
She's going all over the place, every single person.
Well, this is pretty much her story, isn't it? She's trying to find ways of paying a solicitor.
Phil, can I have my cut? No. Oh, Kathy, when's Ian back? No, you can't have his money. Oh. Gray says, oh, Jack might have quite a bit of money. He's got some flats. Oh, I might go talk to Jack. Can I have some of your money? She's going for it, isn't she?
You basically summed it up. We might as well move on.
Well.
She's going some.
She needs the money.
She does need the money. She the thing
she
is
doesn't
that
need the money now, actually.
Well, she's got some free advice from Gray.
And that made me laugh as well.
Where
like twice, not just once.
No.
2 lots of free advice.
Well, he's a nice chap, isn't he?
Yeah.
We knew he was going to be a lovely solicitor.
His top button's done up, you can trust him.
Yeah, he's he lets his wife work. He'll look after the kids when she's not there. More on that later.
Buys a house without
Buys a house.
talking to her.
I know. I wish I could just buy a house. I mean, it was up for auction, so presumably it was a bit cheaper than... Because having watched Homes Under the Hammer for so many years, I know that an auction house is a little bit less...
They should have done a crossover, shouldn't they?
Well,
Gray and Chantelle went on Homes Under the Hammer.
Have Lucy Alexander walk in and say, oh, well, folks, what are you going to do with the house then? First thing I'm going to do is tear everything down. It's disgusting. Kim didn't like that, did she? When she found out that they had bought the house and Chantelle was talking about...
Oh, no, but that is another storyline, so let's stay on to
decoration.
Mel, please.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, I forgot where I was at.
Melanie Owen.
So Mel's son, her only link to her Steve, the man, the only true love she ever had, his basically pleaded guilty in...
I know, that was a shock.
In court, yes. And so Gray quite rightly says to her that there's no point trying to venture a legal case because there's no reason for it. He's pleaded guilty. He does 10-year stretch.
If he's good.
If he's good, 15 if he's bad.
I'm sure he'll be good.
Well, I think he will be because when Mel visited Hunter later and, she was like, how are you doing? He was like, no, this isn't going to work.
His teeth were really white, though, I noticed.
Well, they do.
He's a bit dirty, though.
They do a whitening service now in prison, so do you not know? When you say that he had like really black rings under his eyes, because I thought he'd been punched or something. I thought like Dennis had gone to visit him or something. But no, yeah, exactly. He's been crying and being really upset.
Poor
and
Hunter.
But he's not the big man in prison, is he? On the square, when he's strutting around with his little penknife, he's
threw his money around, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not coping in prison. Do you think this is his last week? That's it. We've seen Charlie exit now, Hunter.
I'm wondering whether this whole Charlie Winters going off and doing his music career is actually a bit of a blindsider. Maybe they're trying to make us think that Hunter is
Really?
going, and we're going to see. Obviously, he's in prison, but I think we're going to see a lot more than we thought, because we thought that scene a few weeks ago when he was just being visited by Mel, and he was like, "I'll be okay, I'll plead guilty, and then I'll just see it through."
Yeah, that was his last scene.
That was going to be his last scene, but
and
it
then
wasn't.
we thought the two that he filmed this week, we thought, they must have filmed that at the block way back then, because it's been months, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
The director corrected me on Twitter.
Yeah, she got told off. It's like, no, we filmed this all in sequence, so please stop your misdirection.
Well, I was shocked.
Yeah, but it's nice of him to let you know. Shook. He was really good, actually. He explained also the process of the whole week's
filming.
And his
middle name is Jeffrey, so that's interesting. Not the directors.
Hunters. Yeah. How's that interesting?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Jeff.
Something I didn't know.
Hunter Jeff Owen.
His middle name should be Steve, shouldn't it?
Stephen. I'm surprised his first name's not Steve, to be honest. I would have thought he would have picked up the family name somewhere.
But yeah, the free advice that Gray gave Mel was basically, he's not going to get out of prison. The best you can do is create a nice life for him when he comes out. So create a business for him, a little bank account, and buy a house.
It sounds like when you pick up a puppy when you've got a dog for the first time. Make sure when you get home you get a nice big cushion, plump it up, and make sure he feels safe when he gets home.
So that's what she's going to... I guess that's like kind of Mel's future storyline. She's going to be career-driven, is she now?
No, because when
she should be.
She should be, but first of all, she can't handle the job she has already at E20.
That's because Sharon.
She just can't keep hold of it. She can't get these tonic water deals. She can't be trusted around a
Sharon.
card
There's
machine.
Too much pressure.
I know. We're not going to make money from tonic water, Ben. But also, she is trying to find a fast way of making money. And as you said, Kathy saw through her, and
I loved that.
Played a little trick and said, "Oh no, Ian's coming back, but he's bankrupt." As she's working in E20,
yeah. I love that. I like that Kathy saw through her really quickly, and she wasn't like being played a fool.
Oh, definitely. I just couldn't.
Kath.
Oh, Kathy's savvy. She's died and come back. She knows the life now. She knows how things are played. Oh, classic EastEnders this week. While we're thinking about Kathy, she had a big.
My goodness.
Yeah, Wilmot Brown.
Yeah, it's the Wilmot Brown rape case, and it's like 4 episodes all shot
really
together,
good.
And amazing. And her acting and the writing is amazing.
Yeah,
like the police interview, you're just there in the room with them the whole time. Yeah, it puts Ruby's thing to shame, really. I thought.
Oh, absolutely, because it was done so directly. Kathy had gone to the police immediately, while Ruby's was a bit like, was I there?
Yeah, very good. So.
Recommend it. Go to UK TV Play and find it. Absolutely. Drama Channel.
So Mel can't get money from Ian. Phil's got no money to give her yet, so that's a no. Obviously, Gray mentions that Jack might have a bit of money, so she then apologizes to Jack and gets a little idea in her head.
Yeah, because Jack wants to throw her out the house because
Honey left the gas on.
Well, Honey, Gray, and Jack.
Gray's getting involved, isn't he?
He really is. Well, he opened the letterbox and went, "I smell gas. I smell gas. Get the door open." And Jack walks in and sees the. It's funny how Mel kind of consolidated the mess into one room, which was the kitchen, and Jack tried to keep it away from Honey and Gray so they didn't see. But then Honey walked in because Honey's becoming a bit of the gossip, isn't she? Because in the week also when she talks to Kim's talking to her and she doesn't care. And then when Kim says that she's in trouble about something, all of a sudden Honey's like, "Oh, really? Tell me more."
Yeah.
So Honey's becoming a little bit of the Doc Cotton.
Is
she the new Doc Cotton? Were we misdirected by Sonia becoming the new Doc
Sonia's
Cotton?
the new Carol now. She's changed
direction.
direction.
Yeah, which is fine by me. We need a nice Carol.
I like the running joke as well that Honey keeps calling Mel lovely. She's done it twice now.
Yeah, and Mel said, "I was okay until you called me lovely."
And then she mentioned it again after her rant in the Vic. So yeah, Mel's left the gas on, so Jax wants her out of the flat.
Yes, hands her papers. Does it very officially. I mean, Jack's handwriting is very neat, I have to say. I must say, the way he filled out that form.
Did you see his signature? It was all block capitals, Jack. And it was really big as well.
It's one step away from just putting a cross. Can you sign this? Done.
But yeah, she goes to visit Hunter in prison, and that's when you get a theory of what she's up to. She wants Jack to suffer and to pay for everything he's done.
That's it. So it's not. So it's weird how her plan is just kind of
just
from
keeps
one to the
going
next.
Insane, really.
But it is. I think it's a woman who doesn't really have any aim and is panicking, isn't it? Because she's been drinking quite heavily as well, so her mind can't be very straight. And as you said, she's told Hunter that she's going to take Jack for every penny. So it's almost like a mirror image of another story we've got this week.
I know.
Going to take it for every penny and basically make him pay for putting him in prison, because ultimately it was Jack who made that call. and got him arrested. And
Although Jack did say to her, Mel, you're the one that brought Ray back into our life, so technically it's your fault. Jack had a point.
Jack did have a point. I mean, on my Jack scale, because last week he was like shooting well high into the 8s and 9s. He has gone down a little bit now. So
he gave Gray a bit of a look, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because I think he thinks Gray might be after something, but I don't think Gray's that kind of guy. No? I don't think Gray would.
They're not setting up a Mel and Gray relationship.
No, I think this hopefully will be a genuine friendship between Mel and Gray.
Between a man and a woman.
I know. How dare they on a soap? That can't be right.
Yeah, I really like Gray and I really like Chantelle. Like they've settled in really well, so I don't want them to like have a big dark secret. Why can't they just be a normal couple?
No, I would
and have just normal storylines.
Yeah, I like them to be a bit like how Mick and Linda was first introduced as a stable, normal family.
Yeah,
and then just tear them apart later. That's all we want.
Yes, but I mean, yeah, we got Mel plotting to take Jack, not Ian anymore. We thought they were redoing the Ian storyline a few months ago.
I'm glad they're not, though.
Kathy's put a stop to that.
She's vetoed that.
So yeah, she's on to Jack's money now.
Yeah, well, not just Jack's money. It is, as we say, it's Jack's. I think she just wants to tear Jack down a few strips.
I wonder if Rainey will get in the way.
Rainey's gone a bit quiet. I forgot about Rainey. Yeah. She was upstairs last week, wasn't she?
Yeah, and next week she's getting her legs waxed in the salon.
Ooh.
That's storyline.
Something to look forward to.
But yeah, I'm wondering, because we like our interwoven storylines nowadays. So is Rainey going to interrupt Mel's plan or get in the way, or they're going to team up? I mean, take down the Branning brothers together?
Yeah, she is a woman scorned too, isn't she? So maybe her and Mel might get together. I mean, Rainey's got so much potential. She's got Stuart she could hook onto. She's got now Mel.
You know what's going to happen? Mel's going to take down Jack. I'm using air quotes here. And as she's doing it, she's going to fall for him.
Right.
And then she'll want to stop her plan last minute, and then he'll find out. That's what's going to happen.
So it's like a Ray story 2.0, because she'll
fall for her Jack.
Yeah.
She says, "No, I don't. I've changed my mind. I do love you, and I've just found all this." And he'll chuck her out. That's what's going to happen. That's my theory. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Right, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
To Punchgate.
Yes.
Sharon Punchgate 2.0.
Everything's 2.0 this week. Everything seems to be 2.0. Yeah. Well, it's not just Sharon, is it? We've Tiff has been exposed as being not so white after all.
It's mainly Sharon. Come on.
But there's a lot of Sharon.
There was two amazing scenes. Sharon Watts is back.
With the old Sharon Watts, or as Kathy put it when she used to rule the square with Michelle.
And Calvin.
Sharon and Michelle used to fight over Calvin.
They did, exactly. I love that scene that they had because Sharon was feeling a bit down. Her son's not really listening to her. Is she a good mum? Is she a bad mum? She was sat on the bench all on her own. And then Kathy came over, gave her a little pep talk.
Comes to the rescue again, doesn't
Sharon
she, old
Watts
Kathy?
Was ignited, wasn't she?
She was on fire again. She was like a phoenix.
It was so good, that scene, where they were talking about Den and Ange. And...
Yeah, it was only a small scene.
I know, but Kathy said mate, which she hasn't said mate in a long time.
No.
And I like it when Kathy says mate. Angie's my best mate. And I appreciate these little scenes that they keep doing with these characters.
Yeah, but they seem to be doing a lot of throwbacks to the past, and I can't help but think that it's probably linked a little bit to the fact that they are repeating the older episodes, so it's got something that people can kind of hold on to and refer back to.
Or because they've just hired a new archivist and he's doing a good job.
No, he's doing a great job.
Throwing these things at these people.
There's a lot of references he's doing back to the past, and we're always like, oh, have a look at that.
He's filing them into people's storyline.
Yeah, little post-it notes. One of those post-its that has a little.
This.
Yeah, that's it. Has a little arrow and says sign it. It just says mention this. Yeah, that's what he's up to. He's just poking them in. Yeah, because Kathy tells Sharon that you're stronger than you think, and that's all Sharon needs to basically get her fists out, start smacking about.
That's right.
She gives almost as good as she got, because don't forget she also got a bit of a smack back.
I know, because Dennis is like the drug storyline with Tiff is sort of ending now, but Dennis still wants to be involved in it all.
Well, Dennis is still trying to get in contact with Styx and Evie, and he doesn't get any luck with that. But then when he does get a message, Tiff then lies to Dennis and flirts with him just to avoid him from going to visit them. So Tiff, in a way, is trying to help him, but instead of directly telling him, you know what, they're in trouble with the police and perhaps you should step back and avoid them, Tiff tries to use the same tactic that she originally did when she was around with Evie. Yeah. Exactly. And that doesn't go too well either, because then Sharon finds out that Tiff has been trying to groom Dennis this whole time. And so then you find out that Evie hasn't really isn't as squeaky clean as Jack and Sonia and Whitney first thought she was. They thought she was 100%
More references
innocent.
to the past as well in that argument. Sharon goes, "I think I nearly married into your scummy family."
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
yeah.
that's a throwback.
But I can't think who Sharon was going to
Jack.
marry. It was Jack.
Yeah, he didn't show up though because a certain Ronnie was back into his life instead.
Jack. Oh, Jack. Why is he so popular?
Turning down the Queen of
Turning down
Wolfers.
Sharon, exactly. Can you imagine them on their throne? Jack and Sharon. We let down. He is a letdown.
So yeah, and then obviously Tiff is like at breaking point, so she grasses to Sharon. She says Dennis is involved in all this, and that's when Sharon
That's the final straw for Sharon. She's like that. She's snapped
because Dennis says something to her like, "Oh, you're weak. You're just my mum." And she goes, "Right," and that's it. So
well,
she goes out there.
Before this, we have to quickly flashback because Dennis is obviously on his Easter holidays.
I want to talk about the punch.
I know we're getting there, and Sharon had bought tickets for Madame Tussauds without Dennis really consenting and saying yes, I'd like to go. She was like, you'll love it. It was fun. All your favourite celebrities are there.
There's a whack work of me there.
Yeah, let's go. And she gets the tickets, buys them. Dennis doesn't turn up. Dennis then does come in the evening, and she just starts going off on one, saying you need to respect the value of money. This cost me money. And then Dennis puts on a little lie and says, "Oh no, sorry, I was visiting a friend and."
Their nan died.
His nan died or something, and then Sharon was like, "Oh, don't worry, it was only money."
Mum of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, she ain't no pushover.
But she is no pushover because then when Tiff says to Sharon that Dennis wasn't with his friend whose nan had died, those tickets were not spent in good nature. That he's actually been out perhaps doing some drug dealings. That's it. Sharon's it. Snapped. Yeah. She gets her.
She takes on 4 lads at once.
She gets Dennis's rucksack, storms out the back door, throws the bag at Sticks. Sticks is like, "Hey, what's happening here?" Smack. Right in the nose.
I know.
You're going to need a tissue for
that. And he said some worrying words to her as well afterwards. He says, "You're going to regret this."
Yeah, you've made a big mistake.
Yeah. And we all know that a few months ago when Louise asked Sharon about her affair with Keanu, Louise said to swear on Dennis's life then, and she did. So something bad's going to happen.
It's always been leading to that, hasn't it? By Sharon betraying her own son just to get her out of a lie with Keanu.
I thought you were going to say something else then. Trying to get her...
Yeah, leg over with Keanu. Again, this is probably something we'll talk about a bit later on, but Keanu interrupts Sharon just at the point when she seems to be about to tell Phil about her betrayal.
I know. She was about to tell him.
That happens in the whole Phil and Ben story. But yeah,
and there's a bit where Keanu shows that he may still have a thing for her as well in the kitchen. When
she's
got a black eye.
When she's got the black eye. So yes, the next day when Sharon is desperately trying to, say to Dennis that I'm trying to comfort you, I'm trying to look after you.
Not Denny.
No, it's Dennis. Well, Dennis, did say that. He said, "I'm not Denny, I'm Dennis." Which, again, the actor, really good.
He is very good.
We're really seeing a side to these child actors where they've not been allowed to show. And it's such a shame. It's such a shame that it's taken them this long. It's taken these new executive producers to
Yeah, he's very good, the boy who plays Denny. What's his name? Blair. What's his name?
I think it's Blair.
Dennis.
I don't know how to pronounce it. No.
I just don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not making fun of it. I'm jealous.
But yeah,
he's very good.
Yeah, he tells Sharon...
He's quite nuanced as well. He's quite good at...
He reminds me of a mini Phil. It's a shame that we can... But I suppose...
Yeah, but he's starting to look like Dennis.
Yeah, his dad. his personality as well. He really is becoming his dad's personality. You can tell that if he didn't have this stable household, he would be like a bit of a ruffian on the street and he'd be able to look after himself.
I'm rooting for in a few years the grandson of Den Watts dating Tiffany, the granddaughter of Frank.
Oh.
How good would that be?
Running the Vic.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Sharon upstairs, drunk.
Yeah. On the gin. Rattling away upstairs.
Yeah, they've been so lucky with those two, seeing as they have such important character, family backgrounds.
Such a legacy.
And they've not had to recast them. No? Yeah, very good.
Well, Dennis has been recast.
Oh yeah, but from now on,
the most recent one,
needs to be.
No, he's not needed to be. But yeah, so he's upset with Sharon, his mum, because when he got his beat ends, he was basically left abandoned while Sharon went off to Australia to visit Michelle.
No, she didn't have an answer for that either, did she?
Well, she had no, because he's right. To be fair to Dennis, I mean, if you think about
Michelle offered me a beach
yeah, and a friendly ear, and so as he goes off and in a bit of a huff, and Sharon's trying to grab him and say, "Well, you don't walk away from me." He quite comically, unfortunately, punched her in the face.
I know, that was quite a turn. Wasn't expecting it.
No,
it was like a full-on, full-front punch.
I proper gasped.
Yeah.
I gasped at the television. She did. I think half the nation did. I think Dennis did.
I know. So yeah, black eye for Sharon. She couldn't even cover it fully with her makeup.
She didn't try to, I don't think.
No.
But what was her excuse? A tin of sweet corn.
A tin of peas. A tin of peas fell on her head.
Fell on her head.
It would have been more believable if she was like, a bottle of wine fell on my head.
Yeah. Or I drank so much last night, I stumbled up to bed and whacked my head on the corner.
She said that, no one would have questioned it.
No,
but
no, exactly.
A tin of peas.
Everyone's like, really, Sharon? You don't eat, all you do is drink. Your diet is liquid. Yeah. But Linda saw through it, didn't she? And she gave Sharon some sage advice, which was, you shouldn't let your child
walk over you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be their friend, you have to be their parent.
Exactly.
Which is good advice.
Very good advice. And she took it. She upholded it. So she made.
She almost cracked though. Even like the first hurdle, she almost
let
Denny go.
Yeah, she ripped
She's
over
not very
the curves.
strong at that, is she? Bless her.
It's her son. It's her only attachment to Dennis. Her one true love. Let's be honest. Yeah. And it's her only child. And she's been told that she can't. Or Dennis was a miracle child. She was told she couldn't have children. So you kind of can understand that Dennis means the world to Sharon. But at the same time, Dennis was quite right to put Sharon in line by saying that, well, if I mean so much to you, you seem to throw money at me to show your love, but can't you just give me some time and attention rather than just keep going off? Or
because that's all Sharon had, you see.
That's true. Yes,
that's all Sharon had from her dad and mum.
Yeah,
was money thrown at her.
But that's the way she liked it. Dennis obviously wants a bit more, because when he had those scenes with Phil, when Phil was trying to be more of a father figure with Dennis, and he did the box and so on, you could tell that the character of Dennis liked that. He felt like he was wanted, he was involved, he was part of a unit. So ultimately, that's obviously what he wants. And again, he wants to be part of a unit with Styx and the group and the gang. So
many troubled children on that squad.
I know. I don't know how they get away with it.
They all grow up to be psychopaths. Let's just hold out hope for Dennis.
Maybe they should all take that online test that Hunter took.
Yeah. Then we'd know for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So next up we have our feature, which is First Till Last. And it's in dedication to Sandy Ratcliff. So hope you all enjoy. We're here for another edition of First Till Last, where we take a character and look at their first episode and their last episode and see how their character changed or grew throughout their time on the square. And it's a special one this week because we are going to be talking about Sue Osman.
Yes, following the news this week of the death of Sandy Ratcliff, we thought it would be appropriate just to give her the tribute that she deserves of when she played Sue Osman, because Sue Osman is and was a great character.
And an original character, so therefore she's automatically on a pedestal.
Absolutely. She gets the gold medal for achievement straight away.
Of course. And I remember when we did our live reaction to episode 1, she was one of the characters I wanted to know more about.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, she was.
I liked her.
She was a bit of an enigma, and she seemed quite feisty and quite angry of life, and but was also quite maternal. She was motherly. She had her child with her in the cafe. I remember she ran around. Hassan, yes.
I've got my encyclopedia.
Yes, your special book you found on eBay.
Yes. So this has the original character descriptions of Sue and Chris Osman. That's right.
Originally Chris?
Ali's name, yeah. Oh. And then, do you want to know? This isn't about Sue, it's about Ali. He was originally named Chris. It's because Tony Carpenter was originally called Alan Carpenter.
Okay, I see where this is heading. And so Ali and Alan would be two close names. Chris isn't a very reciprocate.
That's why they changed it from Chris to Ali, because it was more of a reciprocate name. And then because they changed it to Ali, then there was Tony Carpenter, used to be called Alan Carpenter, and they can't have two characters beginning with AL.
So they changed Alan
Alan to Tony.
To Tony.
Yep. And Chris to Ali, because it's more
Right.
in keeping.
But this has nothing to do with Sue, of course.
No, but it's interesting, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, true.
Yeah. Anyways, yes. So we have Sue's original character description, which, because there's not much known about Sue's backstory apart from the one phone call she makes to her father when Hassan dies.
Yes, that was in the phone box. Or no, it was at the cafe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like a really disjointed phone call, and you never really learn what's going on with her family life.
No, you get the impression that perhaps the family were a bit distant with their children, and we knew that they had Sue when they were quite late in life, so they had much older principles and disciplines.
So what it says is that Sue was the child of older parents. Affection was what was missing from the house. There was no real love, no fire, no closeness. She never saw her parents touch each other or demonstrate any tenderness. Is Sue actually looking for a bad time in life? Is she the big martyr? Perhaps convinced that her parents had no affection for her, she can't understand anyone else doing so either. She's a very insecure woman, ferociously jealous and possessive, and always accusing Chris, Ali, of being unfaithful. So that was her original character description.
Oh right, and that's what they were aiming towards. I mean, they said that they wanted her to be hard, but also a bit of a victim, a bit of a loser. So that's, I suppose, is that portrayed in the first episode then for Sue? Is that something
she does come across
away?
as quite hard because she's for someone who works in a cafe, trying to create custom.
Yeah.
She's every time someone walks in, she's shouting at them or yelling at them or telling them they're wrong or telling them to get out. So she has got that feisty side to her, and then obviously she has that tender side where that she has a baby who she brings to work and things.
But she also seems to keep an eye on Ali, because he looks like he's one wink away from being tempted by another. In the early days, especially, he talks about women and
he's not the most modern man.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just that he's got quite a high sex drive, perhaps, and he's always looking for someone who would maybe return the affections that he would like to give to someone. But he never seems to. He seems to do it just enough to the cusp that would annoy Sue, and Sue can then reel it back in again.
Yeah, never steps that line.
No, never quite. Well, in the early days, but then later, I suppose, he does step over that line.
And she also had one of the first taboo storylines of the show in the first year, which was Cot Death, which is where the first change in her character sort of began.
Well, this is when her mental health deteriorated a little bit, and made her a lot more vulnerable and more protective to the people she loved around her. Not everyone, but the people she loved around her. So she would be more protective to her husband and her sister-in-law. And her sister, especially her sister-in-law and Ali's brother's children, she would be almost if they're her own. And Annie as well, she would take Annie on as if it was her own. She even asked Michelle if she really wanted Vicky in one scene, and
she'd offered to take.
She'd offered to take her off her hands.
She went very one-track mind, didn't she? She was just.
Well, after Hassan's death, she became very possessed that she wanted another child.
Yeah, and that was it for the next 2 years. That's all that was on her mind, and they went through loads of different ways because she thought she was ill. She couldn't have babies. She didn't deserve to have a baby. That's why she couldn't have one. So they were doing adoption, or they were going to go after Vicky, or any baby on the square they could have. But she does eventually fall pregnant again. She
does, after a lot of hard work and also a lot of thinking, because she leaves the square, she comes back, she wants the business to flourish with her and Ali, and she has a phantom pregnancy as well, which also greater makes her pain and her grief even more, because she believes she's pregnant, she tells everyone she's pregnant, and then she discovers when she goes to the doctor that it was all in her mind. So again, playing with her. Yeah, again, playing with her mental health, her mental stability. So when she does eventually become pregnant, you think this will settle her down and make her feel a little bit more sane and comfortable with, the situation.
That's what she wants in life, isn't it?
But unfortunately, she then starts moving on her obsession about Hassan's death onto little baby Ali and her new obsession of protecting him and putting him in a bubble and dust. Yes,
and illnesses and. Yeah, she gets very possessive because she just doesn't want the same thing, history to repeat itself again. And that's where she slowly sort of loses her mind as, her last year carries on. She just becomes obsessed with keeping this baby safe.
Yeah, she doesn't want to work anymore. She wants to be a home mother. She, doesn't want to do anything that may damage or hurt or, ultimately kill her new child. This is everything to her. This is what she's worked for the last 2 years, trying to make this child and then care for it. And she becomes it's her undoing, it's her unhinging eventually. And this is what pushes Ali away a little bit and makes people around her less convinced that she's perhaps such a safe mum.
Yeah, because she goes towards her on her last episode is when she visits Hassan's grave, and Ali takes baby Ali from behind her back. And that's horrible, and that is what breaks her mentally.
Yeah,
and she thinks, oh, it's happened, I've lost my baby again.
That's right. She starts digging at Hassan's grave in the ground, thinking that she'll find her baby in there. I mean, what Ali did was questionable at best. I mean, you don't just snatch a child from someone while their back is turned, even if it is your ex-wife, because at this point Ali has left Sue because Sue had slept with his brother, Mehmet. And so their marriage was tore apart by this point, and so that
even though he slept with Neymar, never came out.
He did, but then he does say in the final episode that it's one thing to sleep with someone, but when it's your own family, it's unforgivable. And he's broken his ties with his brother, and he's broken his ties with his wife, and this is it. But he knew that Sue wasn't stable enough to look after baby Ali. I mean, I love that they had a baby Ali, and now we've got a baby Abby. So they're kind of keeping the trend up.
They are. It's very sad because the last scene of her is just her basically having a mental breakdown. And that's the last that we see of Sue.
Yeah, her last episode is very, for a character that was leaving, was very light of the character that was going.
There's all those things of behind the scenes that were happening with the actress, which I think slightly hindered Sue's character development a bit, because there were moments throughout the show where she'd disappear for 3 months or disappear for 2 months, and they never really took her character where I guess they originally wanted to. They just kept her on that baby Hassan cot death and then the baby Ali storyline, and then that was it really. They couldn't push her further because of what was going on behind the scenes.
Well, they were writing her out because she had a lot of personal problems that were coming up, and it was interfering with the work schedule. I mean, when they first asked Sandy Ratcliffe to do the soap, her own agent told her that this is going to be a hard schedule. It's a bi-weekly television program, because this is before they called it a soap.
Yeah, drama.
Bi-weekly drama. And do you think you'll be able to keep up with it? And she was a bit unsure herself, but then she also had quite a severe drug habit that I think ultimately
she just had a
interfered.
tragic life from when she was 13.
Yeah.
There was things going all sorts. I mean, even to her audition when she was auditioning with who was going to play Ali, she turned up over 2 hours late. To the first audition, and she'd spent some time in prison for selling drugs. But she told
it was
Julia
only cannabis.
Smith,
it was cannabis in the 70s.
And Julia Smith was like, no, that doesn't matter about your background. You've served your time, because she was quite good with that, wasn't she?
She was, but the press hounded Sandy as well. So, and this also didn't help with Sandy's state of mind either. So it was strangely, although the circumstances were different, Sue Osman and Sandy Ratcliffe were quite similar with the fact that the world around them was kind of breaking them down, and as much as they try to claw their way back up, the world wouldn't let them do that. And it's sad, really, the news that we heard this week when Sandy
I found it
Ratcliffe
interesting.
had
She
died.
did an interview in 2010, I think, because her last public appearance was in the 90s, and she said that the character of Sue Osman always annoyed her. She said she was too soppy, and she always let her husband push her about, and she always wanted to just stand up and give Sue a backbone. She never really had it. So it's funny, even after all that time, she was never really happy with
the way the character was portrayed.
Sue went, which you can see on screen, because when you watch it after the sort of first year, you do think, oh, come on, stand up for yourself and say something back. But she never.
I think Sue did, though. I think, but then
she did lose it a bit, didn't she?
Near the end, but then that was because the character kind of lost it a little bit as well. Lost the spark inside, I mean. And I think Sandy Ratcliffe kind of lost her spark toward EastEnders as well. She didn't really like to be associated with it near the end.
She hated even hearing the theme tune, I think she said, gave her nightmares. So it's not the best thing. But I do wonder if they're going to mention Sue's character on EastEnders, because when Frank passed away in real life, Frank Butcher, obviously the character then passed away.
Yeah.
So I wonder if anyone will just mention maybe about Sue. Or if they'll just keep her alive.
Yeah, it's a huge shame that BBC haven't done any mentioning of it at all.
I know.
At the beginning, at the end.
Yeah.
They've done it with
It took
Leslie
a whole
Grantham.
day to be on the BBC News as well. It's really strange.
Really strange. The BBC are kind of pulling away from it. It was on the drama channel where they're obviously doing the repeats of the classic EastEnders. And the very first episode, at the beginning, they did a memoriam almost of Sandy Ratcliff. But BBC haven't mentioned it at all.
I mean, we know that later on, you don't even know what happened to Sue. Like, you don't know if she got out or anything. But I know that Kathy has mentioned she's kept in touch. But whether they're still in touch, I mean, that could be something they could write in just a few lines, maybe.
Well, it's just no different when Kathy and Martin were having a drink to toast Pauline and Peter. It's exactly the same thing. Could they just do a little, maybe when Kathy is in the cafe, because obviously it used to be Osman's cafe.
Something there. Put a little picture up.
Like they have a picture of Peggy.
They
have a picture of Peggy in the Queen Vic.
Just to, I don't know.
Name an urn after her. Something. I don't know.
Little Ali could come in and see the cafe or something.
They could bring back older Ali. They could bring back older Ali. He didn't come back for the Dr. Leg episode. It could be another excuse just to bring back some old cast. We'd like that.
Kathy's next man.
Absolutely. It was sad news this week when we heard. And we thought it was only right that we did a first to last on her. The character she portrayed in EastEnders, which was Sue Osman.
I mean, there's not a huge amount of change from beginning to end, but like she did have that. She softened a bit, I guess, but she also went more extreme towards her motherly want.
She wanted to be a mother too hard, and eventually that's what broke her.
But yeah, good few years, an original character, and
it's nice to do an original character for first to last as well. If anyone has any suggestions of any characters you'd like us to do for first to last, do tweet us or find us on Instagram or send us an email, eastendersweekly@gmail.com.
That's right, and that was Sue Osman's first till last. Right, so we have more developments and twists and turns with Ben and Lola now.
I mean, they have had such a big week this week. So much has happened between them, and they've kind of gone their separate ways and then got back together again. It's been quite exciting, but
how are you finding them both?
Lola, I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying her story. Sorry, but a bit angry that you'll find the story that they've gone with her, but the way it's been
predictable.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that, and it kind of puts the whole Ruby story with Jay a bit like, what's the point of that?
I know, they were like, Ruby's gone away for a weekend. Yeah. It's like, oh, has she?
Okay, so and it kind of made Ruby's point more strong that Jay kind of didn't really care. It's like, no, obviously he didn't, because he's just jumped straight onto the next horse, Not to say Lola is a horse.
Or Ruby. She's a camel. No, what's she, a giraffe?
The way she drinks champagne, she's a giraffe, and the way she drinks coffee, she's what's something that chomps? A chain chomp.
Hamster.
A hamster. Nice. Or rabbit.
Yes.
And
then, we found lots of like little bits. They're like drip feeding us bits of storyline of like twists and turns with Ben as well.
And again, Ben is strange. Last week I was really enjoying his character. He has turned somewhat though this week, and it's really.
And not, as he's turned, and that's fine if you want to make a character darker. But he's sort of turned, and it doesn't quite add up. Like why
he's
doing anything.
When he went away, it didn't seem, because we rewatched the episode when he left again.
Yeah, I watched some of Harry Reid's last few
when he's on the ferry and Mel's chasing him and so on, and we were desperately trying to find.
From that to this, it doesn't.
Yeah, we were desperately trying to find something. What may have caused Ben to have these bad feelings toward
Phil.
And it just doesn't seem to add up.
No, it's really weird.
So there must be something that's going to be revealed at some point. But I know a lot of people on Twitter and social medias have been saying that they're not hugely keen on this new
No, it's a shame, because the actor is great.
The actor's fantastic.
Not a problem with that, or recasting or whatever. But yeah, I just feel like the motivation just seems a bit weird. Like how he's got this weird hold on Lola. Yeah. And you're thinking, well, what's he got on her? And then you find out at the end of this week that he knows that she's engaged to someone. It's like, well, how does that give him hold on her? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you're engaged to someone, how's that a big hold? Yeah, I mean, that hold is also, it's not something he came to the square knowing would be something he could use against Lola. I know. Because he didn't know that Jay was going to, rekindle his relationship with Lola again. So Lola just feels really pointless. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like Lola she's just there. Like
when she was doing the scene right at the beginning of the week with Billy, and they were going to have that pajama party, and but no, I quite liked that. It's nice to see Billy and Lola having that relationship, and it's something that I would like to see built. And also, it gives Billy a bit more reason to be there, other than he's trying to chase Honey. He's trying to tell Honey that Adam's not so great.
But it's so predictable. We said,
Exactly...
I hope Lola's not back because they're going to get back with Jay.
Yeah, and this is exactly what happened.
Triangle.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
And I agree with you. And it just makes Lola seem to have a very short lifespan on the soap. It's like
it just makes no sense. Like if she's we're so meant to know that she was happily engaged to someone. Ben's asked her to come to Wolford.
But how is she part of the plan with Ben?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it doesn't make sense
with the Phil thing. It's like,
and like if Ben's treating her so horribly, like he's really treating her horribly. Like he has this massive like he's an abusive husband almost.
Yeah, he's being really aggressive toward her.
But like, surely she could just be like no, and then she just go back to Manchester to her fiance. Like there's nothing actually physically stopping her.
No.
There's Lexi, but Ben doesn't have custody of Lexi, so I just don't really get.
Because last week they were, but they were packed up to go, weren't they? And she was going to leave, and then Ben kind of manipulated her to stay. It's like,
really odd.
If you don't stay, then I'll let everyone know. But
and it's really unlike Ben as well to act like this.
But
we had 4 years of Harry Reid's Ben, where he had like loads of development in those 4 years. Well, he was still kind of a bad boy, I guess.
Well, his sexuality was his development, wasn't it? Yeah. So the Harry Reid era, if you want to call it that, was his sexuality. That was his development. But the actor,
but also his anger issues were developed as well.
Yeah, but that was softened because of Paul. I mean, if only Paul hadn't died, none of this would have happened.
I still find it harsh. I think the biggest problem is because it's been such a short time since the last time we saw Ben. It's been like 14 months, I think, at most.
That's true.
So I think it's just a big, like, it's such a short time to have a recast anyway, and then to have the character completely change like that. It's just like,
you're right there. If there had been
doesn't quite add up.
Yeah, if there had been a bigger gap between Harry Reid leaving and then obviously the new Ben coming in, then perhaps you wouldn't feel quite so.
It just feels like a different character.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel quite so compelled to want to compare the two of them quite so much. But because as you said, it's been just over a year, you feel that it's necessary to kind of say, well, that's not the Ben that left. So what's happened in that time space for this to
exactly
develop?
And like Ben left to like for all we know, he's travelled like France and Portugal and Spain. Like you'd expect him to come back like a bit more like cultured, maybe. Or, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, not angry.
Yeah, like he was meant to come back, and they were like, oh, he's come back. He's more confident with his sexuality than ever, and he's this and that. And it's like you haven't really seen any of that.
No.
And like he's been travelling the world. He's been on his own. He might have met loads of people. You'd expect him to come back a bit more chilled, or
without such a direct plan, because he's literally come back to Albert Square,
take down Phil,
to do this one thing, and that's take down Phil.
It's like Phil, when they left, I know he stole some of the heist money, but they never left on like massively bad terms.
Not really. Phil. And we're meant to be under the understanding that Ben's got quite a good life out in Portugal now, and it seems like a lot of effort just to try to tear your dad into pieces by deliberately trying to, because this is what's happening. He's going to deliberately help Phil get his money back, much to Kathy's glee as she stood in the kitchen beaming again. She's been beaming a lot this week, and then just tear him down a few strips. And it seems weird that you would put so much effort into basically destroying someone's life. If I was Ben, I would have turned up, seen that Phil was in a lot of trouble, just thought, well, I suppose he's done it to himself, so there's no need for me to do it, and then just head back home again.
The other thing that worries me, because they're going down this like human trafficking storyline, which is really dark, like for anyone, like even a character like Ben. It's one of those sort of storylines that, can a character come back from that? Like,
why would Ben be okay with that?
Yeah, and I don't know if Phil
doesn't know about it. Keanu kept saying, it's like, does Phil know about it? But
Ben does now, and he was quite happy to ignore it.
Ben was aware from it at the beginning, hence why he was there to make sure that it was carried out.
And that's what worries me, because it almost feels like Ben's come back for like a 6-month storyline. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like he could carry on after this.
No.
But if that's the case, why have they bothered recasting him?
But exactly. There's no reason why you would change the actor just to have him pop in for a few months.
And he's come in and he's been like 100% like villain.
Yeah.
There's been no like softer. There's been a few funny lines, I guess, when he met Whitney and Halfway and things.
Well, no, even then he was
bitchy.
He was bitchy. He was a bit smarmy, wasn't he? He made a joke saying like, "I can't keep up with the men that you're with, Whitney." And Callum kind of took it a bit like.
Do you notice that Callum looked at him as he walked away? I clocked that.
But not. I don't think.
Suspicious.
I think he was looking at him as if to say, "Who are you to be horrible about our relationship?" You thought that Ben. Was eyeing up Callum at the other end of the bar.
I don't know.
So do you think he was a bit jealous of Whitney, and that's why he made the
there
jibe?
could be a Callum and a Ben relationship.
You think that Ben's going to date everyone? You think Ben's going to date Gray?
No, I don't
as well?
anymore. No, now I've met Gray.
Okay.
No.
You thought that Gray might be bisexual, and so that they might end up having.
Oh yeah,
a
but no.
relationship.
But I mean, Callum looked back at him. Why?
Oh, I don't think Callum fancies Ben. Let's not do a story where Ben tries to
break up people.
Well, not just that. To try to turn someone into because there's nothing worse because then that gives fuel to people's fires that homosexuals all they want to do is make straight men gay. Let's not do that, please. Let's not do that.
But apparently, there's a gay relationship starting soon on this show.
Okay.
Who? So
maybe it's one of the people that they're trafficking. Ben's maybe that's who Ben's associate is. Maybe that's how he has his contacts. Maybe he's one of the high up people. I mean, I was so surprised to see Ben, because I expected Ben when he was there with Keanu to be like, okay, yeah, I know what's going on, but this is a one-off. At least to kind of explain it away, even if he was lying to Keanu, to explain away the whole situation with what Keanu had to do. But he didn't. He was just steadfast. He was really cold, odd. And he said to Keanu that he needs to grow a pair, and he really undermines Keanu the whole time. And you can tell Keanu is kind of feeling his world fall away from him because he's kind of built himself up wanting to build himself up in Phil's image. Now Ben's arrived. He's kind of being
doing
torn.
He doesn't really want to do, isn't he?
He's doing things he doesn't want to do, and he's realizing that the wise words of Sharon a few months ago when she said that the reason she likes Keanu and not Phil is because Keanu is gentle and he's a nice guy. He can't get caught up in this kind of world, and Keanu is now getting caught up in it. So I think that's another reason why I don't think. Obviously, Sharon's a bit upset because he's playing Louise, even though Phil's encouraging Keanu
That's weird as well.
Carrying it on. Yeah, it's like Phil says he doesn't care about hurting Louise's feelings. When
pretty odd.
Really odd. So that's his own daughter. That's the daughter who he went to E20 to smack Hunter with a baseball bat about.
I know.
And now he's saying, I don't care about her. As long as I'm making money and I've got my son, Ben. It's all about mail, isn't it, I suppose? It's like, this is my mail. This is the only heir to my legacy.
I know, but it just feels really backwards. Like, Ben's gone backwards. He's like the guy that played Ben before Harry Reid. He's more like that Ben, I guess. But because we've had the Harry Reid Ben for 4 years in between, it's sort of like really disjointed. There's
been such a nice progression with the Harry Reid.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people on Twitter were saying, oh, here's 2011 Ben. And they were saying, we're going back to the 2011 era of Ben. Which, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember it very well. And so that's not a good sign either, because that's not something I particularly, obviously, got invested in, that Ben. All I remember really was that he smacked Heather around the head and killed Heather.
But he's had that redemption arc. He's had that. So now they've like brought him back again, but they just need... It's almost like how, you know how they introduced Ruby and she had the rape storyline like within the second episode? Yeah. It's almost like that with Ben. Like, they've introduced him and given him this, he's evil. That's it.
Yeah, that's his character. It's
like,
black and white.
Yeah, they should have spent a bit longer, like, having him be a bit more human, or seeing his family again, or spending time, like, with his mum and his granddaughter. Just something to humanise him. They're relying a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're relying a little bit too heavily on the fact that this is Ben Mitchell. You know this character. Here he is.
Yeah, but I don't. Because, like, he's coming, it's that... I don't know Ben Mitchell, because that's nothing like what he was before.
Because they seem to be playing the real long, slow game with Ikra and Habiba. They're new characters.
Weird.
Exactly.
I really don't get Ikra and Habiba. Because I thought they were Kate Oates' like first character creation, but maybe they were in the pipeline before Kate Oates? I don't know. Do you think Kate Oates has inherited Ikra and Habiba from John York? And she just doesn't know what to do with them?
And what she says, she's just kind of thrown them in and seen what sticks. Maybe. Because it
doesn't make sense for there to be no... Because there's no storyline with them for weeks yet. Like, till the end of April, I don't think.
I mean, in the interview with Kate Oates that they did before she took on the role, she did say that she was wanting to do a lot with the Mitchells. So obviously her plan has always been to have this big Ben storyline. But it just doesn't seem to be logical as it should be with Ben. As you said, it would have been nicer if they kind of introduced him in slowly.
Yeah.
But they're kind of just thrown him in running.
And they've like tacked on Lola, and it just feels like, why?
Well, let's talk about Lola.
This whole storyline could happen without Lola at the moment.
Yeah.
Really.
But let's talk about the Lola story that is then. So it's basically she's got together with Jay. So Billy's kind of encouraged it or manufactured them meeting up at the park to look after the kids. They play hide and seek. Really poor game of hide and seek because they're hiding behind a bench with an open back. And
it took them ages to get found though. Lexi's not very good at that.
Lexi's rubbish. I mean, goodness me. And Jay and Lola agree that they want to be just friends, but then
Does he try to kiss her, doesn't he? She says no.
They try to kiss each other a couple of times. Yeah, once behind the bench, and she says, no, let's just be friends.
But then in E20, they both kiss each other.
Yeah, I mean, Jay's kissing. It was like he was licking a wall. It was really peculiar. Did you not think he kept moving his head up like, in a cow or a cat?
I have to say, I mean, I was watching it, but like, Lola and Jade has no interest for me.
No.
Lola she just feels like she's going to be there for a few months. She has no sort of long purpose for me.
I half expected Ruby to be like at the bar and kind of just swivel around on one of those chairs and be like, this is the guy who supported me in court last week. Said he'd wouldn't do anything to hurt me, and then he's licking Lola on the face.
Because Ben doesn't want them to get together, and that's when we find out that she's got a fiance, because he says, oh, I know this. Just wait until I tell him.
Yeah, how do you think Jay would feel if he found out you had a fiance?
It's like, it's just really weird. It's like really rubbish reveal. I thought, like when people were like, oh, it's a really good cliffhanger ending tonight. I was like, really? I mean, she has a fiance. It's not exactly biggest dirt in the world,
but you don't know what that fiance is like, and I've got an idea that perhaps the fiance, because you can see by the way she gets manipulated by Ben, is the fiance maybe a friend of Ben's, and so he's also quite manipulative.
Yeah, but I don't get what, like, Ben and Lola haven't seen each other in like 5 years. Why has he suddenly got whole control over her mind? Like, it's really
but that's what
odd.
I mean. Is the fiance? Has she got herself a bit, perhaps like Tiff? Has she got herself caught up in something bigger than what's being let on at the moment? And so her fiance may be linked. Maybe the fiance is linked to the whole human trafficking story. So it's him. That's how Ben has got involved too, because it's a friend. And so perhaps the man who Lola's fiance is a very powerful man and could hurt Jay. And could seriously hurt Lola.
So do you think the way for this human trafficking storyline to go, for us to feel sympathy for Ben, is something going to happen to Lexi maybe? Like she nearly gets taken into human trafficking, and that's how Ben then has a conscience or something, maybe?
Perhaps, because we still haven't seen from the trailer who has been or will be
that's
kidnapped.
Be Louise.
We don't know this.
Yeah, but come on.
Well, it could be Lola. Maybe the fiance finds out, kidnaps Lola, and this is, as you say, this is when Ben has a quick redemption. I mean, I don't know. The problem is that it's going to be such a quick redemption. What's then going to happen between him and Phil? Is he then going to admit and say, oh, I came here to ruin you, but no, I want to be family now, and hooray.
He's not even got any money to take off Phil. Like, I don't really get what his plan is.
But he gave his last £5 to Phil.
Yeah.
To do whatever he likes with.
It's really odd.
I mean, Phil's not going to start a chain of chicken shops, that's for sure, because he's got no money at all to put his laundered money into. So he needs to build up the business. But I think there's more to it. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, as I like to say.
Because I'm just not really... I was so... Like, Ben's return last week was really good. It's like, oh, he's a great actor and he's this and that. But I don't know. I just don't know. The way that they're going for the character seems off.
I think...
Just seems like a new character, basically.
I'm hoping that there's going to be a few nuances in this story. It's not going to just be Ben is this, Lola is involved, and Phil gets... in trouble, because don't forget that we've still got Shianu to expose. We still have Louise and Keanu to expose, because they've got the kind of relationship still, between them. So there's a lot of little bits in this story. It's not just Ben and
but Ben
Phil.
keeps going on like he's not there for long term. He keeps going, oh well, we'll do this and we'll be out.
Yeah, but that's the.
So there's got to be something that's going to have to end up with him keeping him there, I guess.
If they do cut the whole human trafficking and Ben admitting to Phil short, then there's still more to come between them. Because as I said, there's still Sharon, there's still Keanu, there's still so much. There's still Mel, because Mel wants to get involved with the money laundering too. So if you think about it, everyone's kind of the Mitchells or Phil and Ben's storyline is a bit like a black hole that's sucking all the rest of the stories into. So. Everything seems to be, the nucleus seems to be Phil and Ben at the
So let's
moment.
just hope it's successful, because if not, then it's all going to fall apart. So
Just like a black hole.
we hope.
It's going to collapse.
Right, so next up we have got a short little game. So everyone get your pen and paper out because it's exam time.
And you're thinking caps.
Hello children, and welcome to Libby Fox's Degree of Excellence.
I'm ready, Ben.
Are you ready for another lot?
Yep. I've been studying all week. I've been moved from one room to the next, but I have had a little run and a vomit, so
Okay, it's
I'm
good
okay
for
now.
you.
I am. I'm
Your
okay.
head's clear.
I feel so much clearer.
Right, so Libby Fox's Degree of Excellence is a game where I ask you multiple choice questions about mundane things that have happened in EastEnders this week.
Yep.
Such as, what coloured bra was Kat wearing on Tuesday? Things like that.
Well, the question here should be, why are you staring at Kat's breasts? You have no answer.
Anyway, right,
Yes.
so are you ready for your multiple choice questions?
I am. I do like this game, so let's play.
Okay, so question 1. What colour tie was Hunter wearing in court? Was it A, blue, B, red, C, black, or D, white?
He was wearing a white shirt and dark trousers. And I know he likes to look a bit suave, so I'm going to go with C, black.
Yeah, that's incorrect, I'm afraid.
Oh.
It was B, red, or maroon.
For danger, watch out, I'm going to plead guilty.
Right, that was the beginning of the week, a long time ago.
It seems like
Right.
ages ago.
Question 2.
Mm.
What Portuguese meal did Ben cook Kathy and Phil? No, you have to bear with me here.
He picked up a few tips in Portugal, didn't he?
Was it A, chorico beans, B, caldo verde, C, arroza de Braga, or D, Portuguese forno?
Before I answer this, can I just ask, did you Google these? What did you Google? Portuguese
There's been
means?
a lot of research this week in my questions.
I'm just curious to know how you... Did you get Google Translate to tell you how to say them? So
Libby
knew...
Fox doesn't tell me how the questions come.
Oh, so Libby's written these.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get in touch with Libby. Courtesy of Holby General. Right, I think it's B, caldo verde.
Oh, do you? Do
Yeah.
you like one of them?
It's
It's like a broth.
Oh, verde. Verde sounds like green. I don't know.
Well, that's correct, B.
Oh, thank you very much. It's
That's
just
what Ben did cook Kathy and Phil.
it was so that's what they ate, a broth.
Hmm.
Is paella Portuguese or was that Spanish?
I don't know. Ask Ben. The other Ben.
I will next time I see
Ben
him.
Mitchell. Right, question 3. How many times did Dennis text Styx without getting a reply from him between the 6th and 8th of April?
Okay.
Was it A, 3 times, B, 4 times, C, 5 times, or D, 6 times? He was ghosted.
He had a few messages. He looked. He
He
seemed.
was scrolling, wasn't
He
he?
was really scrolling. His thumb was doing all the work. I'm gonna say C5.
That's correct.
Yes.
Just so you know, the last text he sent was at 12:30 midnight.
Was it a heart? Heart
It was
emoji.
a hey question mark. So question 4.
Hmm.
We've discussed Beck's having trouble studying this week.
But I haven't.
So-
I've been top on form.
What notes was Beck's having trouble finding on Thursday's episode?
Oh, I know this.
Was it A, differential calculus, B, accountancy, C, social sciences, or D, human resource management? She lost some. What were these notes she lost?
I'm
Such trouble.
torn between A and D, as is my life. So I'm going to say A.
Oh, differential calculus.
Can I just say the only reason is because I know you can't say it, and I just wanted you to say it again.
That is correct.
Oh my goodness me!
So good.
I've got pretty damn good.
Yeah. Right, question 5. What did Kat buy from the Minute Mart that cost £8?
Oh, I remember watching this scene and thinking Kim had put £8 in the cash register. Why did I think that?
Was it A, Easter eggs, B, bottle of vodka, C, nappies, or D, loo roll?
I know. Oh no! You've hit me now with the loo roll. She makes a comment that the house is
Cherry.
Cherry. Oh, well, you've given me the answer then. It must be C, nappies.
It might be vodka. Cherry likes some vodka.
She's probably got it from her mum,
Yeah.
The taste for vodka. Also, Easter eggs are 2 for £8 in Tesco's. Just hinting.
Might be 2 for £8 in a minute, Mark.
Yolandi does like to copy deals. I've seen them on the wall. I'm saying C. I'm saying nappies.
How are you?
Yes.
That's incorrect.
Oh, it's toilet roll.
Loo roll.
Oh.
That was a bit of a swerve question, that one.
Ugh.
Right, question 6 and the last of the test.
Okay.
What form did Jack send to Mel to evict her from the house? Was it a form 4B, form 3D, a form 6A, or a form 5C?
Oh, I know it was a number and then the letter was in a bracket. But
All of these are
helping me
I'm
at all.
afraid.
I am going to say 4A. 4A.
It was 4B was A.
Oh, I'm going to say 4B then. I'm sticking to my guns.
Okay, well I'm sad to say that's incorrect. You obviously do not know your laws.
My council forms, I do
No.
not. No.
The correct answer was C, form 6A.
6A. The only number I know is P45. And that's the one you get when you leave
You'll
your
be
job.
getting one of
Well,
the results
yes.
that you've got because you scored 3 out of 6. That's your worst one so far.
That run really didn't do me any good, did it? It's because I was stood behind Cush the whole time.
Oh,
I
you're
wasn't
very distracting.
No, I wasn't concentrating.
That would burn calories
It really did.
on its own. So yeah, that's not very good. That's Keegan Baker.
Is it? What grade is it? Well, it's 50%.
50% Keegan
That
Baker.
D, isn't it?
Keegan Baker. Not a Robbie.
No. What's a Robbie? Is it lower?
Robbie's lower.
Oh, okay. What's a Sonia?
Sonia's 90%.
Wow.
No, Beck's is 90%. Libby's 100%. Sonia's not on it. She's 12.
Sonia's not on the scale.
No.
She's a nurse. She treats people with illnesses, but she's not on the scale of intelligence.
Yeah. 50% that no must do better.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I should have concentrated less on the cash register number and more on what she was buying.
Always look out for things that are going on.
I will from now on. Next time the game is played. Next time you warn me.
Well, I'd like to know how everyone else did on the game, on the quiz. See if you did better
How
than
can they?
50%.
How can they let you know, Ben?
Don't know, you tell me. I don't do that.
There's Twitter at EastEnders Week, Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast, or Facebook group, just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Or if you're so inclined, email us. Send us questions on the email. Send us ideas for games. We love to get them.
There you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that was Libby Fox's degree of excellence. So I've got £6,000
Yep.
and I want my salon opened within 2 weeks. Fully stocked.
Fully stocked, whole kit.
Insured.
Yeah. Rent
Staff.
stuff. Do you remember a story? I forget if it's maybe something I dreamt, but there was a story where if you put money into like this special pot, lots of money comes out of it. I think Patrick lives in this world. And plus, Patrick's now gone on holiday.
I know.
He's gone, so he's booked a flight to Trinidad as well.
I want the salon open by Good Friday. I'm off to Trinidad.
Yeah, see you later. Bye. Doop.
That's ridiculous.
He's mad.
It makes very little sense, this storyline, that they're opening a whole salon with £6,000.
In 2 weeks. No promotions, no advertising.
One hairdresser.
One hairdresser.
That's
Yeah, that's 2 hairdressers because Mitch is a barber.
No, he's a separate business. He is, isn't he? He's like in the back.
He has his own little area at the back.
They're not going to get much done.
No, I mean, what is Kim and Denise planning to do? Are they just going to mull around?
Kim's waxing because I've seen a picture of her waxing Rainey's leg next week.
Oh, you did mention this earlier.
Yes.
So
she's doing waxing, but it looks like she's in pain. So I'm assuming Kim's not very good. But we had Chantelle saying yes, no to the job all week.
yeah, but
which
no,
didn't make any sense either to me, really. I couldn't quite understand what was going on.
Well, her reason was because when she was
She
a
has
child.
kids.
Well, no, when she was when she was a child, Mitch abandoned her.
Yes.
And so she didn't really have parents around her. It was a bit of a hard time for her when she was younger, having that as her family life, and so she doesn't want to do that with her 2 kids.
Right.
And so, but she can't make her money because she does want to have a career as well. She wants to.
Wasn't she a hairdresser before though? Because they called her in.
She was a mobile hairdresser, and so she would only work hours that she could fit around her kids. But when Denise,
they want full time.
Well, Denise is sorting out the rota
because their salon's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Denise also said that she only wants her working, I think, 4 days a week. So who's going to cover the other
Shirley.
3 days? Oh, yeah. It's just nuts.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Do we have a name for the salon yet? I don't think we do.
No, we don't. It's going to be something along the
Foxy Cuts.
Yeah,
or
that's it.
Yeah, Foxy Sisters or something stupid. But
doesn't fair thing about. If anyone has any suggestions of what Denise and Kim and Mitch's salon/barbershop/waxing salon could be called, then please do send them to us on the usual social media.
Yes, please. I'd like to hear what foxy puns you all have.
Not necessarily foxy. You could combine the two names Kim and Denise. Kenise.
What about Mitch and Patrick and Chantelle?
Matrell Salon.
Yes, it's very silly. But they're just ordering things all week, basically. We have like a storyline of Kim sort of taking off her wedding ring, giving up on Vincent, it feels like.
Looks over at number 1 Albert Square, sees it's up for auction, knows that she's got to move on, so she puts down the wedding ring and decides she's going to start a career. She's going to become a businesswoman, a proper businesswoman.
A waxer.
Over a few drinks with Kat, she says that she wants to be an entrepreneur. Just like her sister.
It's nice that they remember that friendship between Kat and Kim again.
Yeah.
That was nice little bits. We met Chantelle's 2 kids as well. 2 more kid actors on the square.
Yeah, thumbs up from both of them. Is this our new house? Okay, let's move in. Shot of the 2 kids, almost synchronised with a thumbs up. Straight forward to the camera.
I know, I'd be really annoyed if someone bought a house and I'd not even looked at it.
It's a nice house though. I like number 1
Chantelle
Albert
might
Square.
not like it.
It's got 3 levels, a basement.
Got a lot of history.
Lots of history. Used to be a doctor's surgery. People almost were buried there.
Yeah.
Flats, yeah. Bedsits. Ethel lived there. You can still hear Ethel when the wind blows through the walls.
Gray's just done that, basically just bought the house. And then she goes from not wanting to work there because she wants to be with her kids. So then Gray buys her a house and he just goes yes to her. And then she goes, oh, I'll work there. And then she says yes. It's a bit weird. I just don't understand.
Well, maybe because she's now in the square, so there's not going to be much travel
easier.
time. Yeah, she can just turn the corner when she's at work.
Maybe he'll work from home in like the basement, turn it to an office.
Well, that's what I think. I think he's going to start up his own kind of like independent soliciting.
Not doctor's surgery.
Word, is it? Well, he could try his hand at being a doctor, but he might get in a lot of trouble. And also, Kim accused him of being a chauvinistic pig, not letting his women go out and work. Even though Kim was very much a kept woman when she was with Vincent.
He's not like that though, is he? I don't think.
No, she was just grasping at straws. They were desperate to get someone to be a stylist, and I mean, there must be more than just like
Stacey. Well, Stacey said no.
Well, so did Lola.
Yeah. See, if Paul didn't die, you see,
Paul could have done it. They're dripping through the fingers of Denise and Kim.
Michelle could come back. If Michelle didn't leave, she could be a hairdresser again.
She didn't really go that far though with her NBQ, did she?
Nor did Stacey, did she? I don't think. Stacey just did it one day.
Well, she's done a good job with Ruby. She's always doing Ruby's style for her. Or whenever someone's getting married. I mean, that's another lucrative deal they need to start striking up. There's so many weddings.
There hasn't been a wedding in ages on EastEnders. The last wedding was, I don't count Max and Rainey's because that's not real.
Well, Mel and...
No, but that never happened either.
Mel and Ray's? It happened.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But before that, it was Ronnie and Roxy like years ago. Not Ronnie and Roxy. Ronnie and Jack.
That's one sick wedding.
Really like Chantelle. She's
same.
like a normal woman. Good actress. She's funny. She's slotted in.
Well, it's nice that they've introduced a family without any dark secret. It's nice that they're just a new family. And as I said earlier on the programme, they're just being introduced slowly and...
professionals.
Yeah,
professionals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. They're not just kind of like... Yeah, they can work and they're interesting and they have a life and you're invested in them straight away.
Yeah, they're just normal. Nice guys.
Nice guys. So their 2 kids are probably going to get friendly with Ricky and Amy as well. So...
And there's Bailey as well. Like, she's disappeared for a bit, but there's that thing going on.
Yeah, Bailey's there. But Bailey's a bit older than them, I think.
Amy's older than Bailey. Amy's 12.
Is
believe
she?
it or not.
God, you wouldn't think it. The way she plays with that iPad,
I know.
Throws her fists at it.
She acts very young, Amy.
But it's a shoe-in then for Jack to get friendly with Gray, you see. Because their 2 kids will be friendly with each other.
Modern dads together doing pickups.
Oh, goodness me.
School pickups.
Turtlenecks. Turtlenecks and camel coats.
Gloves.
God, let's never remember them when he rented that car. Let's never remember that again.
And Adam can do pickups for Honey's kids as well. The 3 dads.
Oh, they're going to do scenes with also Martin as well. So they're all going to stand in the square. Yeah.
Poker nights at number 1 Albert Square.
Women.
With Gray.
And they're all going to talk about women. Ooh, women. I can see that. It's writing itself a little bit, isn't it?
Mm.
And Mick will be shoehorned in because Mick.
Oh yeah, he needs male friends.
I suppose he has got a child of similar age.
Yeah,
as well.
Ollie, exactly. See, all the
little
men,
Ollie.
all the dads can talk.
So many dads on the square all of a sudden.
So many daddies.
Good. You were saying earlier on the show that they were worried that there were too many kids in the square. Now look at it. They're overflowing with children.
And they're all at an age where they can't really have storylines, so it's a bit pointless.
I don't know. When Kate Oates took over Coronation Street, she introduced a lot of young cast, and they all had stories here and there.
Did they?
Yeah, so perhaps there's a conscious decision to bring in a new generation to the square.
But I'm glad that number 1 Albert Square will be used again, because it's a good set. Good history.
It's a great set, great
it's a house that needs to be full for like a family.
It's funny because it's the one house that you think would be occupied by a family that would be a bit more important. Not to say Chantelle and Graham won't be important.
No, but a bit more history on the square or something.
Yeah, like the Mitchells would live in it because it looks over the rest of the square and it looks over the Vic. So you think that house would be used more as a kind of, I don't know, the monarchy of the square would live there. So it surprises me because Phil kind of lives in a bit of a dingy little hole really around the corner.
Yeah.
The only advantage he has is it's near the bottle bin, so Sharon's bottles can be transported there quicker.
Exactly, no bin issues there.
No.
Last storyline we've got to do is a very short one, and very boring one, I feel. Like, it's just like, oh god, is the Beck storyline. She's just studying again, basically.
Yeah, she's stressing out, isn't she? She can't seem to get her head in her books.
It's so boring to watch, though.
Sonia tries to help her out by giving her a pampering day
and that
at
was
home.
boring too.
Well, there was only 2 scenes, and one of them was Beck saying, "I'm so relaxed," and lifting up the cucumber and seeing Sonia texting Bianca.
So relaxing in this dark, dingy room which hasn't been decorated for 40 years. On his stuffy couch. Probably stinks of smoke in there because of the dot.
Yeah, I mean, Bex is feeling a bit neglected, a bit left out every
who
time.
Isn't?
I know, but
maybe she should punch Sonia.
Maybe Sonia's had a slap, didn't she? She had a slap from Tiff last week.
Yeah.
So many people are smacking one another. It's really becoming quite a slappy soap. Now I come to think of it.
But yeah, she's just finding it trouble to study, and then Martin has the great idea of maybe de-stressing your mind. And the best one to do that would be Kush, because he can help you exercise.
Yeah. Go on a run with Kush.
Yeah.
On a very, very cold, wintry day. I mean, there was frost on the ground. It was like a scene from Frozen. I mean, it was just mad.
Yeah, and they went for a run. It was the best thing ever for Bex.
Well, Bex overexerted herself a little bit too much. Yeah, her mind got cleared, but also her stomach. Because I think anyone who hasn't exercised for a long time, your body gets in shock, doesn't it? I know it's happened to me. Remember when we first went to the gym?
Yes. And yeah, I mean, she puked up in front of Cushy, but she still has a thing for him, it looks like.
Well, yes. I mean, who wouldn't have a thing for Cush in what he was wearing that
Karen
day?
likes it. Karen likes bums, doesn't she?
Karen, I love it. Every time, like, someone outside her house
bends over.
Yeah, she just stands there with her fag hanging out of her mouth, just like, ooh.
Yeah, because I watched not an episode from a few years ago the other day, and it was when Masood was cleaning the laundrette floor, and she was there with her fagging around looking at his bum. And then she was looking at Mitch's bum when he returned last year.
Yeah.
And now she's looking at Kush's bum, so she's got a thing.
Got a thing about her pert bum. Peachy bottom.
That's what she likes.
She does. Well, you got to have a thing, and that's Karen's.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're going ahead with this Kush and Bex.
Well, Bex wants to carry on running with him.
3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yeah, it's fine, no problem.
Yeah. Plus warm up as well, and warm down. I mean, he's got a proper routine.
I'm surprised Keanu doesn't go running with Kush.
He's busy, isn't he? He's busy trafficking humans.
That's true. Kush doesn't do anything,
No.
does he?
I mean, how does Kush keep such a physique when all he does is run 3 times a week? That's the question we really should be asking.
We don't know what he does in his flat, you see. He might be doing pull-ups over Mo.
Push-ups over Mo.
Mo might sit on his back while he does push-ups.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Dead weight, just laying there. He does some bicep curls using Mo's goods that she's stolen from Fat Elvis.
Hangs up her bras and does some pull-ups.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could do like those elastic bands, couldn't you? These bands that are resistance bands using Mo's 20-year-old bras and knickers. I mean, the elastic must be worn out on Big Mo's knickers because she hides everything down them, doesn't she? Money.
10 mobile phones.
Audio recorders.
Yeah. It's all going on.
So it's
remember that storyline. That was so stupid.
What, when she was recording the whole of the square and pretending to be a psychic.
Yeah.
That was so mad. I remember talking about it with you and just the disappointment in our voices as we discussed it.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, that's all there is to say about Bex, really. She's just finding it hard to study, and
It's
also
confusing me
I
with
don't know where it's
Bex.
going.
I know.
Is it going to like some sort of breakdown? I don't know.
I was absolutely sure that it was going to be Bex was just going to study, pass her exams, and then go to university. And so then she'll come into the soap every now and then. But it looks like they're leading
Such a shame though, because like they could do a lot with Bex if they tried. Like she's a decent actress when she's given the chance, and like she's like the only female Fowler like left, and they're just kind of like wasting her.
But I hate the fact that they've built her up as being this really highly intelligent, highly independent girl, and then she's just again they seem to be just kind of rewriting her and making her.
And the trouble is like her scenes are just boring. Like
they're
just really boring to watch. Her looking at a book and walking out of a room.
Yeah, getting stroppy. Because you can tell that scene's been when Sharon came over and to talk to Tiff. That scene, the beginning had been cut short. But there was something that happened before when she slammed her book and then ran out of the room. And Sonia was like, "Oh, sorry, Bex. Done it again. Sorry, Bex."
But, yeah.
And where's Stuart? Where is Stuart?
I know, he's gone.
He's gone.
Rainy's gone. Habiba and Nicker are gone. Where's Ted? He came back.
Ted's big comeback last week, where we still don't know whether maybe he's killed Bernie and buried her, and that's
Maybe
what's
had a heart
happened.
attack.
Yeah, from the news. Bernie's going to walk in, shuffling her feet, saying, "Oh, Mr. Murray's dead." Who knows?
Yeah,
anyway,
poor Mr. Murray. Right, so let's move on then to Who Won the Week.
And you know me, I ain't one to gossip.
So it's that part again where we find out who won the week. But before we do, as always, we need to jump into our time tunnel, spin like they did in Austin Powers' Goldmember, and find out what happened in previous years on EastEnders this week.
Bit of trouble this week, because I was doing it, and then I got distracted by what was actually happening and what I was watching, and I ended up just watching like things that weren't happening this time last year.
Right.
By accident.
I feel this may go off the road a little bit.
Well, the trouble is, I was doing my birthdays and deaths, as I usually do, and I saw that Angie Watts died. R.I.P. And then I thought, I fancy watching the fallout of that. So I tried to find, like, when Sharon made the phone call. So the episode where they announced that she had died off screen is basically on the 8th of April 2002, but it's actually the 7th of April.
Okay.
But obviously the soap was a bit out of touch.
Well, it's within the boundaries, so you're okay.
So Pauline answers the phone at the laundrette. She goes, "Hello, stranger."
Does she still not have a phone at home?
No. Oh no. And then obviously Sharon says Angie's died. She goes, "Oh, Sharon," and that's all there is. That's it. The whole episode. No one else ever mentions it.
Do you see Sharon? Because Sharon,
Sharon's not in it at the moment.
Oh, so she did. So
she just phoned the laundrette.
But you must hear Sharon say it.
No.
Oh, so Pauline just recalls it, saying, "Oh."
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Sharon.
Oh, so you still don't know that?
You do. She says it to Dot for one line.
Oh, okay.
Then that's it. And I was like, wait a minute. There must be more to this. So I just watched every episode in a row, waiting to find out when everything was happening. And they didn't really mention it until the actual funeral, which was like the 22nd of April.
And that's when Sharon turns up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very good episode. I watched the whole episode. But it's got nothing to do with this time last year.
No. So wait till later in a couple of weeks and then we'll talk about it.
But I got very distracted.
You got.
So I went off. But I also, on the 9th of April, when I was looking for more Angie news, the next episode, there was a inserted scene. Topical scene. The Queen's mother had died. And they were broadcasting the funeral on a radio.
Oh, right. I remember when the Queen Mother died. I was at work and everyone was really upset and I couldn't really understand why.
And so Pauline and Dot were listening to it in the laundrette on radio.
And
they were reminiscing about the times. Good times.
Good times. The Square was during wartime.
And one episode I did watch, which was the 12th of April 2004, we had an episode where they go out on location. So we have Dot and Jim, Pauline and Derek, Patrick and Yolandi, and they're going on holiday to the seaside.
I knew it would be the seaside. Knotted hankies and strung vests.
And Patrick was planning to propose to Yolandi.
Oh, right. Okay.
Jim's bought a dress for Dot because he wants to dance with her, but she never likes a fuss being made of her or attention on her, so she's not happy with him. So she gets very upset. Pauline is getting a bit confused with her and Derek's relationship because they're meant to be friends because he's gay.
Yeah.
But she's getting a bit blurred lines as like she's treating him like her husband.
Oh, right, okay.
So he calls her out on it and says, I want some time on my own on this holiday.
She needs to be more of a fag hag.
Yeah. And Derek ends up seeing one of his old flames there. And they have a little chat. And Pauline has 3 men after her on the dance floor.
Does she?
Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty hot, Pauline, let's be honest. There she is. To the bitter end, she still had the look.
Yeah, she had that silver hair, didn't she?
Yeah, that kind of sultry, angry, bitter look.
And when they were going to the thing, there was one of those, those arcade Dance Revolution?
I love Dance Revolution.
Well, Dot and Jim didn't. They said that's not proper dancing.
Were they playing it?
No, Patrick did, and he was like really smooth and good on it, and Yolandi was getting really turned on. And she was like saying to Dot, because she heard that she was going to propose, she says, I never thought he was the type. And we've said it to God, so that's all that matters. And Dot's like, yes.
I can't imagine. I need to see that scene of Patrick playing Dance Revolution.
He's like really smooth, like going from one arrow to the other.
Is he?
And Jim's doing it next to him. He's not very good.
Have you never seen Dance? Well, you must have. The dance. There's no smooth in Dance Revolution. It's just step.
Patrick's got it down. He's jiving his hips. All sorts going on.
I love those.
Yolandi's loving it.
Oh, and can you show me that after we've done the recording?
Okay, 12th of April 2004, everyone.
Yeah.
If you want to try and find it.
I might make a little video, put it on Twitter of Patrick doing some DDR.
Yes. So there you go. And the rest I just got a bit distracted because Angie died and I wanted to see what happened to her. But her funeral's really good. And Jan turns up.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
A few birthdays as well. Debbie Bates.
Debbie Bates. Oh, she was married to Nigel.
Yes.
Oh, not married, were they? Oh, no, they were married.
Yeah, they were, but then she died.
Yeah, she died. And that's the really good scene when Nigel tells the daughter.
And Julie's legacy.
Yes.
10th of April 1963. Spencer Moon's birthday is past. No one gives a...
Spencer, 63?
No, Spencer is the next one. Debbie Bates was 63.
I was going to say, how old is Spencer?
No. Spencer was 1985, 11th of April.
He was younger than me.
He doesn't care. He's out with Vicky in Australia with Michelle at the moment, isn't he?
Who, Spencer?
I think so, yeah. That's where he's ended up, off screen.
Okay.
Right, deaths. This is new, but I like...
Oh, yeah, you did threatened us with this last week, so you're doing deaths now.
13th of April 1989, Donna Ludlow died.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, poor calf.
Yeah. But that story, again, on Classic EastEnders on Drama Channel.
I really feel sorry for Donna. When we talk,
same.
I want to talk about Classic EastEnders soon, because I really feel for Donna.
We'll make room next week.
Yeah. But yeah, died 13th of April 1989. Very tragic death as well. It's really horrible. I won't spoil it. 8th of April 2002 was Angie Watts, which we've talked about. 12th of April 2004, Mark Fowler died. So obviously Martin doesn't care, does he?
Again, that was Julie's legacy, wasn't it? When he rode away on the bike and Pauline didn't want to say goodbye, but then did.
And he died off screen. But yeah, you think Martin could have mentioned it, but
no,
obviously not.
He's too busy hooking up Kush with his daughter.
9th of April. Lots of people died in April. 9th of April 2015 was Jim Branning's death.
Oh, that was sad.
And 10th of April 2015, the next day.
Gosh, flipping heck. Grim Reaper was out that day, wasn't he?
Stan Carter died. Mick's dad. No, Mick's like pretend dad. Tina and Shirley's dad.
Oh, okay.
He died of cancer in hospital.
Oh, it's a sad death, but I can't say
It was really well done, that death. I remember watching it. It was really well done. He died in hospital and Aunt Babe came to see him and he was all like alone and ill. And it was, like, really
I do
well
remember.
Done.
Yeah. Because he was playing Babe off with
Sylvie
and
Cora.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flipping heck. He had a lot of women on his deathbed, didn't he?
Why not?
Great. So this week we asked who won the week, and the options were Sharon's Punch Out, Mel's Meltdown, Kim Moves On, or Lola, Jay Dead.
What?
Jay Dead.
Right. She's last.
Sharon
has to win. Come last. On. Oh.
Sharon won by a landslide, quite honestly. She got 57% of the vote. In second place was Lola, Jay Dead.
Oh, really?
At 16%. Mel's Meltdown at 15%, and Kim last at 12%.
Surprises me.
Thanks for your votes. That was on Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook group. And we had a few comments as well on Facebook. Pat said, Sharon's punch caused me to emit a loud cheer and a laugh combo. I mean, yeah, fair point. Tasso_bestie said on Instagram, this week was intense. And she did that thing when you can change the text where it says intense.
Oh.
So it really was intense. Changed the text
I
so
felt
much.
it.
@knee_lamb on Twitter said, "OMG, I thought nothing could beat Sharon's Hard Enough For Ya, but whoa, Denny, you dark horse." Yeah, so thanks for all your comments. As I said, you can find it on Twitter at EastEnders Week, on our Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast, or our Facebook group. All you have to do is search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. And you can also find on our Facebook group an exclusive clip from our Linda Davidson interview, which you can only see if you join our Facebook group.
Yes.
And
Deleted scene it was.
It is a deleted scene. And you can listen to the full interview. It's coming out this Wednesday, Ben. You excited?
No, I am excited actually.
Yeah.
It was really fun talking to her.
It was great talking to Linda. I mean, we spoke to her well over an hour, but we had to condense it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, because a lot of it's us just kind of just talking to one another about our day. But it was lovely. Linda's such a lovely woman, and we had such a great chat, and it was great that we were able to talk to her. And
she has so many stories, isn't she? About
loads of stories,
the beginnings of the show and stuff. So.
I mean, we could release again. There's more clips we could probably release, so we may consider just putting out the odd leak here and there. But
there's something that we had to take out.
With something, yes, we were told to remove. That was funny as well, wasn't it? We were like, oh, okay.
Spoiler.
It was a spoiler.
I know. So that was fun.
But so coming out this Wednesday, the 17th of April, on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube. You can also find us on Podcoin. And if you join Podcoin and then put the code EastEnders, you can get 100 free coins or points.
I know, it's like an app, and you listen to podcasts and you like get points, and then you change those points into like Amazon vouchers. So yeah, if you listen to lots of podcasts, it's really good.
If you listen to us,
well, yeah, just put us on.
Why not?
All 60 episodes, you get £10 Amazon voucher.
There you go, done. Deal is done. So yeah, find us on all the podcast haunts, and that episode is coming out this Wednesday. The Linda Davison exclusive interview. One last thing then before we go, someone sent us a question.
Mm-hmm.
They said it's from @_antiheroine_. So from Twitter. She asks, do you think Chantelle and Gray will take on the care of Bailey?
Yeah, because there's loads of rooms in that house.
Yeah.
I think Mitch may move into like the basement one with Bailey, maybe.
I think Mitch is. That's what I've kind of hoping.
Because Mitch doesn't live on the square yet.
No, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think Mitch is going to move in with them too, and so by association, Bailey will move in as well. There you go. I thought it was a good question. You seem quite surprised by that question.
I haven't seen this question. So.
Don't forget you can send your questions to us on email as well, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. And that's it. That's the show. So Ben, I just have a little something to say to you. I don't like.
Yeah, what?
I don't appreciate the way you've been treating me recently. Just don't walk away. Come back. I want to talk to you.
No.